Good morning. I'm going to share with you the four most common problems that shop owners and managers share with us and the real problem, the underlying problem to each one of those, starting with number one with a bullet, marketing. Shop owners think they have a marketing issue. If we only had to send out more flyers and mailers and postcards and SEO optimization, we really have a marketing problem. All of that's great, but the real problem is the onboarding. How you're treating customers when they come to you, especially on the phone skills, lights out, optimizing that phone call. You spent $150 to make that phone ring one time. Are you maximizing that opportunity through tone, the intention, articulation, active listening, being fully poised and professional? Do you have people answering the phone as an afterthought? Do they sound ambivalent, disconnected? That kills all of your marketing. And so before you invite people to dinner, you have to make sure the recipe is right. And that's what onboarding is. The more you impact people at the point of the conversation on the phone call, the more they will market for you. They'll tell all their friends about how extraordinary their experience was in your shop. You can actually reduce your marketing investment by making the investment in time, training, coaching, and holding your people accountable and yourself to answering the phone, to onboarding at the highest level. Number two, shop owners think they have a car count problem. Tell me if you've heard this one before. We only had more cars. I've got shop owners that have 100 cars a week who think they have a car count problem. You don't have a car count problem. You have a, making every car count problem. Onboarding is part of that. The way we get control of scheduling, the way we seek other problems to solve. When they get into our shop, are we welcoming them, using their name, making them feel great about choosing us? Are we doing walkarounds? Are we committing to specific callback times, keeping them in the loop? Are we explaining the work that needs done in a way that they understand in their language? Are we addressing any additional concerns or questions at the highest level, making it a conversation, not a monologue when we actually present the work? And then the follow-up, handwritten thank you notes, 24-hour callbacks, this series of little things that reward and affirm and tell the customer, hey, we value you. Massive value, making every car count, customer count, and call count. If you do that, you'll never worry about car count. At number three, shop owners believe they have a sales problem. If we only had more sales, sales were just a little get those sales up. You don't have a sales problem. You have a process, procedure, and policy opportunity. Look at the roadmap inside your shop for everything that your people do and that you do. Do you have clear job descriptions? Do you have SOPs? Have you created high standards, the highest standards at every level? Without a written roadmap of expectations, people will take a random approach, and it's not going to be the approach that maximizes what they do. Process, procedure, policy, the three Ps. Build out the roadmap that drives everything, and that includes sales, profits, everything that matters. And at number four, shop owners believe there's a problem with the economy. Economy's down, people aren't spending money, COVID-19, whatever the thing is that's happening to the economy, reading the newspapers, watching the news. They think the economy is the problem, that's negatively impacting other things. And I will tell you this, if you focus on what's happening outside of your doors, you'll miss everything important that's happening inside your doors. And that's where the opportunity lies, and that is culture. Your shop culture. Holding your people accountable to process, procedure, policy, positive culture, affirmation, validation, rewarding success. That's what PPP does. It creates standards, and when people achieve them, you reward them. It gives you a place to reward them and also critique them. Without accountability, without some level of consequence, both positive and otherwise, there is chaos. You can't depend on people to govern themselves in the way you want them to be governed. You have to play an active role in that. Consequences. Many shop owners struggle with this, especially the punitive element of this. When people fall short, where do you go with it? You cannot allow your people to flounder. You cannot allow them to fall short of the highest expectations and expect great results. That is the living, breathing embodiment of insanity. This is a culture opportunity, not a problem with the economy. So focus on having meetings, weekly meetings, your full team, where everyone's collaborating. You've got the standards for this if you're part of the Biosphere program. How to critique without being critical. Disciplinary action plan. People have to understand that there are consequences to their behaviors. That's part of life. The speed limit is a consequence. It's payment for our ability to drive on the roads in this beautiful country with freedom. Gravity is a consequence of being able to live on the earth. Without gravity, there's chaos. We would not survive very long at all. Don't be afraid of consequences, both positive and otherwise. Don't be afraid to hold your people accountable and focus on culture, the inside of what's happening inside your shop. Focus on that, as well as making every car count, every customer count, every call count. Focus on onboarding. Focus on process, procedure, and policy. Focus on those 4 things, and everything else will fall into place. You will create an exceptional shop with exceptional customer service and people committed to exceptionalism.